All right. All right, we're at 8. So for those that know, they understand, they know that. All right, jumped right from 8 to 16. Greetings, greetings. Peace and blessings. We are the Mohammeds, the residential tourists, 85 to Africa, living here in the after, right here in the still, still beautiful and wonderful Nairobi, Kenya. And we have been MIA. We
It's
have
still saying no sound.
no sound. I don't know why there's no sound.
Is there sound now, Liz?
Let us know if there's some sound. Please, please, please let us know.
Is it that one?
Mm-mm. Sound is good now. Thank you very much. We appreciate that. Got a little rusty over the past couple of weeks since we have been MIA. With good reason. With good reason. We are always grateful and thankful for you to take a moment to tune on in and just allow us to share with you our continued experience here on the mother continent here in Nairobi, Kenya. Of course, with our acknowledgments, we are grateful for our subscribers, very grateful, and our viewers are very grateful. If you're not a non-subscriber, we hope to gain your subscription. And of course, our members, we are definitely appreciative of you as well, for sure. And for those who are employed by the alphabets, we appreciate you too, if you understand. So, just I guess brief updates. Uh, Last 2 weeks we were not uh, as we are here right now. One the Not last week, the week before last. It was Father's Day, and I was not aware that there was something that my granddaughter wanted to do for me. So you know, it was a beautiful thing, and I was grateful and appreciative. And I was able to foresee that it would have gone into the time of our lives, so we figured let's postpone it and let's push it to the following week. The following week, unfortunately, I got sick. I wasn't feeling well at all, uh, and pretty serious. Uh, so we didn't want to push it a little weak. I didn't want you to see me in that way. So again, we figured, all right, let's just go ahead and push it, and hopefully I'm better, and we have no hiccups or anything like that. That this week, today, we are able to be present, and we are by God's grace and mercy. So we're grateful, and we are very, very thankful. So you're pretty quiet.
Well, we got people on. Is that what's next?
Let's see who we have. Let's make before we move forward. Let's go ahead and let's see who do we have. Who do we have? I see some new fit names here. I don't know how to pronounce that name. Well, first, let's go for those who. Sister Liz, greetings to you, my beloved sister. Always a pleasure to have you uh, present. And yeah, some new. Well, maybe new in the sense that we hadn't seen comments from you. Very well could have been on the lives, and very well maybe subscribers already, but the names are new and being identified. So I don't know how to pronounce the name, uh,
Kilo.
Alatilo
Castillo.
Castillo. Alatilo Castillo, greetings. James, uh, Munene, Munene,
Munini.
Munini. Please, hopefully we're not. Please charge it to the head, not to the heart. If we're mispronouncing, HDK, thank you so much. Black Fire Media, I like that name. Greetings to you. Appreciate your joining in. John Maina, Brother Malachi, Salam Alaikum. Always good to see you, brother. Appreciate you honoring us with your presence. David B, peace to you. Just yes, a lot of Sister Deborah, peace to you, sister. Always good to see you as well, for sure. That great energy. And wow, yeah, a lot of Brother Charles. We got two FOI in the place. All right. Greetings, salam alaikum. Greetings to you, brother. Yes, yes. And Aquarius Gold, that's a familiar. Always good to see Aquarius Gold. Greetings to you as well. Uh,
Hey, Roddy.
Radi, Radi. Uh, he jumped right on. She jumped right on in. Ready to get started on it right away. All right. Well, we'll get to that soon enough. Appreciate your question, and we'll delve right on in. So just a few updates. My brother-in-law was in town. And it was good to have that energy, that new fresh energy. He's not new to the continent. He's been to the continent. With Rwanda, maybe even West Africa, but his first time here in Kenya. And that was really good to have that type of energy around because again, it becomes a reminder and it becomes reviving in a sense when you have that new energy, that exciting energy, that adventurous, exploring energy. So that kind of keeps us enlivened a bit. So it was good. And I think he enjoyed himself. Yes.
Oh yeah, he loved it. He loved Kenya. We could see why we love Kenya. And he was here actually. He just left, so he was able to witness Kenya's fire, which was refreshing as well. So he did get to see all of that. Um, and then prior to that, our friends were here a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
And I know we talked about that already,
So
but
did we? I wasn't sure. We did. Okay.
yeah, I think we did.
I think so.
So just having the new energy coming, there's a lot for me for recapping. There's a lot of you guys coming in in the next few weeks that are relocating here. So of course, um, me personally been very busy, even mentally, trying to figure out, trying to deal with so much. Even when you're dealing with real estate, you're dealing with um, business here on the continent. It's just totally different. It's totally different. So it's you could be expecting one thing. We got promises made. People, yeah, yeah, the house is yours, blah, blah, blah. Come back the next day, they gave the house to a different bidder. And even in the house buying or house renting, you have classisms and you have people choosing who they want to rent their house to, what type of caliber of people they want to rent their house to. And it's just different because we're not used to this in the States. It's not allowed at all, so it's like, okay. So it's a total mental adjustment, just trying to maneuver and finding property for clients and just dealing with taking on all of that. It's real taxing. It's exciting. It's a learning. You definitely learn a lot when you're dealing with people. And I normally don't like dealing with people, so
How was
I'm
that?
learning. I'm
She's
learning.
learning. It's a whole learning.
I'm learning how to become a people person in my later days. Normally, I'm behind the scenes, and I still am behind the scenes.
Well, not so much.
But yeah,
Not so much.
yeah.
Not so much. I think we kind of swapped out just a little bit
Mhm.
there. But that's good. So the daily relocation services is still on the move,
Yeah, people still coming,
still
y'all.
coming.
Don't let whatever you just seen happen stop you from doing what you want to do. Because as we get into it, this ain't nothing new for us. This is not new for
This
us.
is nothing new. Nothing new.
Mm-mm,
Nothing new under the sun is.
nothing new. It was actually for me, and I know I sound crazy saying this, but it was refreshing.
We'll get into that.
It was refreshing.
We'll get into
But
the meaning of refreshment. And so just real quickly, and then we'll get right into it. So I don't know. I think it was either Thursday or or Friday, I'm not sure. But on our channel, right, there was like a 4 minute live stream. Okay. And it wasn't bad, right? It was pretty decent, but it wasn't us.
We
We
didn't
didn't do
post
we
it.
weren't we didn't post it. We didn't put I don't know who saw some people saw it because it was two comments on it. Like, wait a minute.
When they had like 300 views, somebody hijacked our channel and posted
That's what we're getting
a
to.
video.
We have no idea how this live stream, okay, was done on our channel and posted, and why was it only 4 minutes? It was only, but the event, it was a youth event, and from what I gather,
It
it
was,
was
it was a good event,
it was a good
and we
event.
didn't post it. Like,
I
I'm
mean,
asking them, I'm like, what? But they used a flyer of our past event. So I didn't notice it at first.
neither.
And then I'm like, wait a minute, but this was back in, what's going on?
It was very strange.
Mm,
It was very strange. So we don't know. We thought possibly we may have known or knew,
and
but
we
we
probably
checked.
do. They just not admitting to it.
Maybe we checked the sources, and it rendered that it wasn't them, but we don't know. Anyway, uh, if you happen to have caught that and maybe in question as to anything about it, we can't answer those questions because I don't know. It just appeared as though we were hijacked. Very strange, very odd. So we're watchful. You got to watch as well as pray. We're very watchful. Um, we do know as we get into it that uh, here, not only here but abroad, I'll just say that uh, those who have a certain level of influence by way of social media, um, you know, it could be threatening. It can be threatening, and so you may have entities. I'll put it that way that don't want those who have a particular influence uh, to have vision and voice at particular points and particular times. So,
But also knowing that we are repatriates here. Um, we are, so, well, he's middle aged. Um,
I'm not
so
middle aged.
repatriates. So we understood that this wasn't our fight. Um, we participated in many, I don't know, quite a few protests, marches, many marches, and where we're from. But at 49 years old, this was strictly for what they call them Zen. What is it called?
Generation
Generation
Z,
Zen.
Gen Z.
In my mind, everything is the millennials. So I keep calling people the millennials.
That's prior to. That's previous. That's
That shows you
before.
my age, right?
That's what she
But
like.
so we knew to be quiet. We need to sit down, get out of Dodge, just relax and let the youth do their thing. And we didn't want to have any type of influence over anything that was going on. We didn't want to put our viewerships, our subscribers at risk, as well as ourselves. So we definitely wanted to just pull back and allow what's going to happen to happen. So
Well, so it's a okay. So first of all, as you can see, we're okay. You know, it's
oh, and thank you to all those that have
yeah,
texted, sent emails, sent WhatsApps, sent messages,
right.
checking on us, making sure we were okay, sending your prayers and all of that wonderful, beautiful, all of that good stuff. Thank you.
Yeah, we appreciate it very, very much. And a lot of, you know, it it wasn't planned as far as our absence is concerned, as it was explained. And the timing was very, very interesting for us. The timing was interesting, that uh, these things occurred, nearly simultaneously as to how we were just not present or viewable or whatever.
Yeah.
And
The God had to shut
yeah,
you down, made you, oh, you could see I had to be the nurse. But not just him, the niece, the grandchild, the whole family was sick. So he made sure that we didn't have a voice um, to share. That we had to be present in the moment, but to be aware and to learn some stuff. And I'm ready. Usman, thank you so much. The I, are we ready to talk about? I'm ready to say I agree. I agree with what you just said, sir.
so it's yeah, so acknowledging Joe Dinda, thank you. We love you all as well. Thank you for that heartfelt, expression of, of care and concern for us. And a lot of comments, of showing their appreciation. So we're grateful for you. We're grateful. Usman, thank you so very much for the love offering. We appreciate that very much.
See, Alex, this. I wanted to talk. This is exactly what I wanted to talk about. Is how it compares to what we've been through and to what's going on right now.
So let's do it. Let's get into it. Let's talk about it. Keep in mind that, we are guests here in Kenya, and we're grateful to have the privilege and the pleasure to live in this beautiful country. It's a beautiful country. People are beautiful. Uh, the structure of it, the landscape, all of it. It's a beautiful country, and believe that it has made great progress and has great potential of further and further progress. And we understand that, as we move forward in trying to be progressive, sometimes there are hiccups. Sometimes, things happen in order for things to move forward. And we're at that point, I believe. That this is what's happening, what's going on. So we want to just kind of look at it. We want to first, of course, just we're safe, we're good. But those who are abroad, who are looking to come this way, continue to keep looking to come this way. Kenya is a beautiful country. So continue to
And
come
it's a
this way.
safe country.
It's safe.
It's peaceful.
It's peaceful. You
Right.
good?
Mhm.
We're good. Listen, I had a phone call earlier, good brother and friend, and he was like, "Listen, I'm just touching base. I'm still seeing stuff. I want to make sure you're good." Like, man, we at the mall. We good. We okay. We're okay. And we'll go into how one of the things that we appreciate about the organization, the organizing factor of those who feel they got the short end of the stick, how they are organized and how they are concentrating and focused and aimed at
But, but
what they're trying to achieve.
right,
And it's not spilling over and affecting, all else in that, if that makes any sense.
right. But I think the last straw for us before we came to the continent was was the George Floyd situation, right?
Sure.
And again, what what we did in those streets at that time, major destruction, major a lot of pain was being shared. There was deaths. There was a whole bunch of um, what's that called? Whole bunch of
Stuff.
injuries that have happened that have happened. Um, but the thing that is different here that I appreciate and that I'm really impressed with is
Go ahead.
the we normally in the states we wait for something to happen. Every march in my lifetime that I've been involved in or witnessed myself was retro, meaning something happened and now we're marching about it.
Reactionary.
It's reactionary, and it's usually police brutality, a cop killed one of ours, and now they got off, and now we're marching about it, or he killed them, and we're marching about it. And so every time, out of the anger, because one of ours is now dead, they will destroy whatever they could find. They blow up cop cars, flip them over, any stores in the area, they're going to tear it up. Regardless if it's one of our stores or not, we're just tearing up every doggone thing. And this will last about a day, maybe 2 days, but it's because we were tired that someone did something to us. The difference here is the young seen the possibility of what was going to happen if this law, if this taxation was to happen. And they were like, you're not going to do this to us anymore. And at that moment, they got organized. They had a list of demands and commands. They have a daily structure of what's going to happen every single day on which street with what organization. They went and dealt with the people that have voted for this taxation. It's like, what? Organized and very peaceful until it wasn't. But very peaceful. But the fact that they were like, we're not about to be um, we're going to fight for our rights. And that was something that was proactive and amazing, because what they did halted everything. Their voices got heard. The whole world heard them. They stopped in America. The Kenyans went to the Kenyan embassy and they made sure their voices were heard there. I seen it in London. I seen them in um, uh, Scotland. They were in Canada. They were out there. The whole, and it's not just here in Kenya. Kenyans all over the world was out there protesting for their rights and for their people rights. And I'm like, wow, the power of unity, the power of one voice, the power of we're not dealing with this. And as complicated as tax bills are and the financial structure of a country is, the youth understands if this happens, this is going to happen. They are very well educated and very well knowledgeable of the future if certain things happen, and they weren't hearing it. And I'm like, imagine if we took that kind, we never took, in my lifetime, we
Yeah,
never taken that
appreciate
that
maybe
position.
because to speak to that, they I mean when you historically speaking, it's always been the youth. It's always been the youth who had the spirit and the energy and the fight, if you will, against injustices, oppressive behaviors and systems and all of that stuff there. You know, when you look at organizations like uh, CORE, SNCC, and all of those particular, it always with the youth. You speak of Pan Africanists like Kwame Ture or Stokely Carmichael. These individuals were college students, Black Panther Party. These individuals were degreed individuals, who knew the law. You understand? And they were young. They were the youth. Fred Hampton, for one, he was 21 years old when unfortunately he was assassinated, right? Because of the strength of not only his will, but his ability, his love, first and foremost, and his passion and his efforts and his striving to bring justice to those who were receiving injustices, which were the black man and woman in America. So the youth were always. So we can't dismiss the prophetic the prophetic scriptures, right? When it
I said in my lifetime.
I know that. I'm not sure. Not I know that, but what I'm saying is that to your point, because what happened is the question. And we're seeing by being here, we're seeing that that spirit exists here on the continent, but what happened in America? But we understand and know again prophetically, when we look at and we see, you know, that there's gonna come a time where someone's gonna take a stand. And the time of Moses, the time of Jesus, the time of even Muhammad, where the ruling powers were saying, all right, look, let's deal wisely with them. We got to look out for the young one. So anyone certain age and under, we have to do away with them. The time of Moses, because it's the youth. It's the youth who will always rise up and who will rally for what is right and what is just because they have that energy and that spirit. So
But what I'm saying is that the difference is when we are facing situations in the states, we're told, well, go vote it out. Go vote the congressperson in, or go vote the local, um, whatever the case, whoever it is, you vote it out. And even though you might go do that, nothing happens, nothing changes. Even if they say it's going to change, it never changes. If anything, the laws get even crazier. We put people in president's seat that created these crazy laws against us. Where I'm looking at here, listen, overnight, things were retracted. People were apologizing, voted for this bill. They created laws for the police on how to deal with peaceful protests. Like stuff started changing overnight because their voices were heard. And that says a lot about a country to me when you actually listen to the cry of the people. And the people let you know, listen, we ain't about to lay down and let this happen to us. And it's different. It's a different energy. Because even in the West and we're in the States, they still don't see us. And no matter how we're crying out and we're saying, stop killing us, give us equal rights, give us equal pay, give us equal opportunity, they just like, yeah, whatever. We're still fighting for reparations, and fighting mean we're just asking and begging. Yeah, whatever. Over here, the people stood up and the government has to listen. Have to listen. And it's mind blowing, it's amazing. And the youth, and our youth was fearless as well. Youth, especially the generations, what do you want to call them?
it's
Zen, I keep saying Z,
It is
Gen
Z.
X, the, the youth, the youth of today is fearless. They have nothing to lose here and in the
But
States.
this is what I'm saying. You're absolutely correct, 100%. And see, the wickedly wise understand that. They know that. They know. They know that. They know that every generation is going to be, in that generation, there's going to be a voice. There's going to be a type of spirit. This generation is a generation that's totally detached from previous generations. They are just, and I'm speaking just globally. They unhinged. You
Yeah,
understand?
they're moving off of a different energy,
Totally different, right?
totally different
And it's
energy.
necessary for this particular time. And so, because the wickedly wise understand that, then they make preparations. So this is how I'm looking at it. This is the discussion we've had. It's like you have, on a certain level, you have those who are fighting against another level of powers that be, right? Which is the immediate governing uh, 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 structure, right? This could be here, this could be anywhere. But the part about it, right? There's another level of powers that be, okay, that is a hidden hand in most of the cases, in almost all cases. And so when we're looking at this specific situation here in Kenya, as it relates to the defense bill and what their what the ill effects would have been if it would have been went through with it. Coming to understand that and moving toward the root of it is that you have that hidden hand. There's another layer of powers that be. That's the motivating force
Mhm.
behind it, which is the world banks
The same powers that be in the state.
in the state, right? So you're looking at this saying, okay, we're trying to we got to call in these debts here, right? So everybody's attention is on Africa. And everybody wants to pick on Africa. And it was brought to my attention very interestingly from a particular brother who said, take a look at, take a look at the debt to GDP ratio in African countries, right? And then go look at America and look at their debt to GDP ratio, and it don't even measure. So why they not putting the why they not calling in the debt of these Western European countries? Why pick on Africa?
Mhm.
Okay, so now what what's the bigger picture for us to look at?
I have one before you get to the that bigger picture. It works with it. But at the same time that this situation is happening, now we're releasing people, precious people, to go to Haiti. Exact same time that this is happening. It's like no one even realizes that 400 soldiers or 400 military policemen was sent to Haiti at the exact same time that now we have rioting and protesting on the streets.
Could have planned it.
You couldn't have planned it any
Couldn't have
better.
planned it.
You can't focus on it. We can't even protest and be upset for those that didn't want that to happen because all the focus is on this tax bill that all of a sudden needed to drop, even though this is something that's been proposed for, I think they said over a year. They've been going back and forth with this. And I know everything's on a deadline when you're dealing with the new fiscal year financially, but it happens exactly when the soldiers are sent to Haiti. Did you guys even remember that that was happening? And that was something that, especially the Kenyans, the white Kenyans opposed that. They didn't want that to happen.
Oh,
But you can't even think about that happened because we're over here fighting for a tax bill. There's something different going on there.
so you gotta look you gotta look at it, you know. You gotta really look at it for what it is. And things just don't they just don't happen, you know. There's a trail. There's a sequence of things, you know, and when you begin to they say hindsight is 2020. You begin to look back and you begin to put the pieces of the puzzle together. You can see the handwriting on the wall. And so, I just find it very interesting that we just got to be careful. The darker nations of the earth and of the world, really have to be. And there is an awakening. I'm seeing, you looking over at West Africa, you seeing my man Ibrahim Traore, and then went to Burkina Faso and then the Mali and the Niger, that they have recently formed a federation. And I briefly saw that they're trying to establish their currency. So they are really, and he's a young man. The brother in Senegal, the same thing. These are young individuals. These are youth who are looking to do things different than they have been done. But, those who are not looking to see that come to be are not going to lay down. And that's where we are. And Sister Deborah, you're absolutely right. Something to definitely pay attention to, sister. All right. So let's see. So I just find it, you mentioned about Haiti, right?
Mm.
So something came to my thought you know, about that, just in general, right? So it seems like the concern and the interest is, from the Western point of view, is to deal with the quote unquote gangs, right? And they're not rising, and they're not quote unquote terrorizing in that sense. It's all the same. It's just that they want there's a certain level of injustice that is existing that they are wanting to remove. They wanted to remove, right? So to whose interest is it to have these forces, boots on the ground, there in Haiti and to do whatever they need to do with these quote unquote gangs and gang leaders that are there in Haiti. Whose interest is it? Who's going to benefit from that? And why are there gangs there? Or quote unquote gangs? Because it's more of the same.
And looking at some of the documentaries this morning, Haiti didn't ask for this. Haiti doesn't even want this to happen. They have a brotherhood between the two countries, and they don't want this to come and destroy it. Haiti didn't ask for it. Why? And Deborah said the exact thoughts that we had when we seen when they said, okay, we're going to be releasing the United Nations. What was it? 70% of the United Nations coming over to Kenya and set up offices. We've recognized that even with the relocation services, what area they're in, and the cost of rent now for that area because they're there or they're coming. And so the people in that area, they can't afford to live in where they normally would live. And if they don't own that, the ones that are own the properties out there, they're gonna make pretty good money because the UN is used to paying those rates. But the cost of living in those areas now has doubled 2.5 times just because they're coming. And why are they coming? And why are they here? What good is it going to do the country?
So, dear brother Anthony, which is on point, okay, and I say that because it's much the same. As we are dealing with moving toward an election uh, in the states, and this is something that you know all too well that it really don't matter who's in position. We learned that when our very own, the very first ever. Who would have thought a black man would be president of the United States of America? The hope of it was finally we're gonna get heard, we're gonna be seen, some things gonna change for black folk. It didn't happen.
And you know how you know it didn't happen? Because his sister got tear gassed
Right.
last week,
So his sister
fighting for
was fighting.
fighting for her rights here in Kenya.
Brother Obama's sister was out there, doing her thing. And so, it's much the same. It's a system, that, and I think that's what it is. The people are like, okay, we got to change the system regime here. We got to change this thing because it's not effective and it's not working. And as long as this is just my take on it, as long as we in bed with who we in bed with, it's never going to change. We did, I think, 3 weeks ago, we did um, a live on, uh, the relationship building between Africa and America. Spinning off of uh, President Ruto going to America and being there and so forth and so on. But the question is it a romance or is it a relationship? Is America just trying to woo, or do they really want a relationship? And out of that relationship, who's going to benefit out of it, if
That's why
anything?
I said I respect the Chinese government more because they ain't trying to build a relationship with no country. They want a strictly business relationship. Let's do business. That's it.
But see, that's the part though, because a lot of the debt that this country had, I think it's the loans from.
Oh, but all over China and Russia
Right.
and all over. But at least there's no conditions with their loans. You're going and getting stuff from the West, regardless, I don't care what it is. It's coming with major conditions.
Well, I think the difference is that because there's always conditions.
Here's
But I
one.
think that the thing is more of they don't interfere with the sovereignty of the country
Right.
as you have from the West where they're trying to impose, you know, you know, things
Whatever
that is
sick
just
ways they feel
right.
like imposing,
Like
they
you say,
impose it.
we'll give you this if you accept the
Mhm.
the 5-letter
No,
word.
no, the if part comes after they gave it to you, and you got used to it. And so now when it's time for that second or third disbursement, now the conditions come. That's and you're like, wait a minute, that's what they did to Uganda. That's what they did. I don't know. Here we've been taking care of the highways and the electricity in that area for a couple years now. Now we want you to relax your laws on this because we want to send all of our stuff over there. Mm-mm, mm-mm.
Mm.
Okay, well, we're going to stop funding you. Okay, we'll do that. But the US, now that's a different beast. That's a different beast altogether. And it's just gets really it's really tricky and really sad when you think. And so the Wakenians, they looking and they're like, oh no, we done been here before. We done played this game with the colonizers. Why are you over there? One of the biggest benefit of when the of money or grants that was given to the country, I think it was $4 billion, or maybe not dollars, but key shilling, for to build prisons, to build a better prison system in Kenya.
I didn't see that one.
One of them's, yeah, Kenya, prisons, security, um, whole bunch of stuff that is not even needed here.
So that
But that's where the money is allocated
so
for.
it goes. If that's the case, then we know there's a planning. There's a planning, you know, that's taking place. I mean, even going back to the fact that you're dealing with this energy and the spirit of the youth, right? Africa, as we've said time and again, and people already know that over the entire continent, the fastest growing and the largest population demographically, as far as youth are concerned, is here on the continent. I think 70% are ages 25 and below, right? So this Gen Z is, is growing. This Gen Z is growing fast and wide, and never forget, never forget the words of former, I think it was Sec- Secretary of State, if I'm not mistaken, was Zbigniew Brzezinski, who he said 100 years ago, it was easier to control millions of people. He said, but now it's easier to wipe them out
Mhm.
because the people are awakening so much and so fast. It's like you can't control the minds of the people. You can't. And so, with that being said, then there's planning, and there always is planning taking place. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan has said over the years and years and years, even going far back, speaking in terms of U.S., even during the time of Richard Nixon, that they were setting up war games all the way through the Ronald Reagan era, the war game, Clinton administration era, war games. So these war games were not really intended, as you would think, abroad. These war games were intended for the youth, in particular the black youth, and so you talking about the prisons are being built under the Clinton administration. I mean, it was crazy. If you really look at it, on the surface, it was like, oh, he was the first black president. Okay, go ahead and look at some of
Because he
those.
got in trouble. So we put trouble with being black.
Well, go look at some of the policies that went down that took place in America under the Clinton administration, and how it affected black, in particular black men, black boys, and so forth and so on. So you have this, and you have even in the music industry, it would put forth that in early 1990s, where these ARs were called to a meeting, and this meeting was in these meetings were of other ARs, but there were other people in the meetings who were very unfamiliar, and that they were made to sign an agreement that anything that comes out of this meeting cannot be spoken of. And what the meeting was about, the gist of it was to change the trajectory of the music in hip hop to encourage a particular type of behavior because those individuals who were unfamiliar in that meeting were investors in private businesses. And so we create Because if you got a business, you want customers, you want clients. So if I'm investing in private business and I'm getting bank, I'm getting money for it, but I gotta fill I gotta fill it up. So how am I going to do that? Okay, so they s- they signed on some of them signed on the dotted line, and if you really look and think about it, how the music just
Mhm.
change to where it's glorifying and glamorizing criminal behavior, immoral behavior. For one summer, it was, fight
Like
the
the police.
power. Then the next summer, it was totally different. It was like
Don't
overnight.
stop. Get it, get
It was just
it.
crazy. So the whole and it just began to trend in that way, in that fashion. And so there's nothing new under the sun.
Mm-mm. So people ask, how do you feel? Are you ready to leave Kenya?
Mm.
Are you afraid? Are you coming home? And we were confused because, because we're witnessing and watching the youth fight for their rights. We're watching the a pure something that we've always talked about, unifying, fighting for a cause, coming together, organizing, making changes happen with our voice, um, peaceful protests, maybe not so peaceful protests. Um, these are things that we've been talked about my whole life. And to see the results of what happens when you actually do it and when you actually organize, I promise you, it's not over. They still have like 7 more days of stuff that they're like we're dealing with. They're going to honor the ones that got injured. They're going to honor the ones that died. We get notification showing that someone that was got injured in the hospital needs O positive blood. Like they stick together. This is amazing to me. And they're like helping each other. They're going to be out there marching at the I what's it the IMF.
IMF,
They're going to be
because it's
protesting, I think, Tuesday on about the
because
IMF.
it's going to the root of it.
Hmm.
The root of it.
They
It's
like,
like, you know, just like the brother was talking about, the economic colonization. You know what I'm saying? That exists and that occurs. You got to get to the root of it, and this is where it stems from. This is where it comes from. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
And you gotta. And money, I'm gonna tell you, brother. I'm saying brother.
Who are you
I
talking
don't
to?
know. I have that spirit as I'm talking to a brother, but you got to get to the root of it. And so,
Wait a minute now. The brother said Rwanda is much safer than Kenya. Did you hear me say Kenyans have a voice? Kenyans fight for their rights.
well, I mean,
Kenyans are out here making change. Rwandans are safer
it's safer. I get
as
it
long
because
as someone is telling them what to do.
you're not gonna see what's been happening
Mm-mm.
here in voicing, you know, the disapproval or whatever, like they did here. You never gonna see that in Rwanda.
Mm-mm.
That's not gonna happen. That's not gonna happen.
I would love to see it right now.
But if there's no if for the Rwandese, then
No,
there's no
because
reason.
we
Well, we
know
know,
we've talked, we've had moments
right.
um and they'll tell you the real deal. So the moment that you see that, and that's what's scary for the world because the world is watching what just happened here in Kenya. And Tuesday might be more severe than any of the days. The world is watching. The youth is watching. So the youth is watching when something is organized and structured, and we are fighting for our rights, and we want to be heard, we want to be seen. We have this, it's going to trickle around the whole world, including beautiful, peaceful Rwanda. So I'm excited to see, especially for Africa, because this is long waited for. In order for Africa to rise and be in a position financially and powerfully like it's supposed to be and like it will be, this has to happen.
Well, it has to. But I'm telling you, you gotta get out of bed. You gotta get out of the bed with those who are whispering sweet nothings. Case in point, let's look at it. Let's look at uh, the beloved Muammar Gaddafi, right? The Libyan country, while he was in position, right? No homelessness, zero, zero homelessness
Where?
in Libya,
Okay.
zero homelessness,
Mhm.
free education, not just free education in the country, even if you wanted to study outside of the country, education was free, right?
Mhm.
Meaning paid for. Uh, Free healthcare, completely free healthcare, right? Hospitals built with 50 or more theaters for operations and so forth and so on, right? The country was at zero debt. It owed nobody nothing. Zero debt, okay? Every family got a stipend from the oil reserve, right? Every family got a stipend. It was encouraged for marriage, and if you got married, you got a particular type of stipend. So many benefits, right? You have a leader who lived in a tent. He had all this wealth, but he lived in a tent. And he vowed to do that to every person, which I'm understanding did, had their own place to live, had their own shelter. But a word was told to him by the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. He said, "Brother, do not let the West in. Don't let them in. Because when you do, it's going to be the end." And as time and years went on, he let them in. As soon as he let them in, we no longer have Muammar Gaddafi. And why do I say that? Things are always fine. Things are always good until, right? And why would you? Who would not want to live in a society where you have these benefits? What was wrong? It was nothing. But we understand, though. We know because the language that he was being spoken and the efforts that was being made by the Organization of African Union was, we don't want the dollar, we don't need it. We don't want the euro, we don't need it. Let's establish a United States of Africa, and let's remove these borders, and let's do trading among ourselves. Let's build our own currency, and let's function from that, and let's build from the wealth that we already have. It was not going to let that happen. So this is what I say: you have one level fight against the powers that be. There's a whole nother level of powers that be that are all often the puppeteers. They're often the hidden hand. They're often the ones who are manipulating and who are controlling. And so until until we can recognize and identify with that, then Africa's never going to reach. It's my humble opinion. Never going to reach. And we've had those who said these things.
But I'm seeing that no, Africa's going to reach is when the youth rise, and they're the future, and they're letting you know those days of yesterday is gone. We don't want. And the crazy thing is, one of the things that was appealing to us when we came was listening to powerful messages. So I'm not going to say where it came from, but hearing stuff like Africa solutions for Africa problems. That was the best thing I've heard. And now we see the opposite. And the youth is saying, yo, Africa solutions for African problems. We don't want I'm trying to not to get all uh the word. I can't think of the word. I'm not trying not to awaken that spirit. I'm trying to be 49, but the youth is awake. The youth and the whole world is watching. The whole world is watching, which means the youth across the globe, the black youth is watching. Okay. So you mean to tell me that my voice is powerful and our unity is powerful? To see how these things changed overnight because the youth rose up, laws were changed, retracted, apologies were made, and the youth was like, that ain't enough. We don't trust it. We want more. We want more. If you could have seen and heard the fearlessness in these black babies over here. No, we were not scared. No, we did not want to leave. No, we didn't feel threatened. We did keep it low. We had to do that. But if I could be called an auntie, I was a proud auntie. I was a proud auntie for this country that I love right now. I love Kenya. I love it so much. And they made me so proud to see that one, they're going to fight for their rights. They're going to fight for the rights, and it don't matter who it is, how high they fighting. They came together in unity, and it's organized. It's not sloppy.
No, it's
It's
not.
very organized and it's supported. And they out here making things change for the betterment of their country. I'm honored to be here, to witness it, to see it.
It's a beautiful thing. It's, I mean, it's a beautiful stroke. We'll put it like that. In the words of our beloved Talib Kweli. It's a beautiful struggle. Um, all in all, there is safety here, for those of the diaspora who are looking to come this way. There is safety. You're fine. The locals, everyone's safe. The locals are safe. Everyone's safe for the most part, you know. And I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if or when it's going to, end. These youth they got stamina. They got stamina. They're standing on their principles, and they're not letting up. They're not allowing themselves to be lulled to sleep. Uh, and they're not winded at all. And so that's the current state of things right now, right here. But there's so much. It's a bigger picture, I believe, and I think that it's going to, even when it's all said and done, whichever way it goes, however it goes, because the world is focused in it. Look, I mean, you get CNN, BBC, Al Jazeera. It's very interesting. All of the beautiful things prior to this point, all the beautiful things that could be spoken of and shared and shown about this country, all the wonderful things. Most of the people in our circle, they didn't know nothing about that. But now, because of this going on, everybody know, hey, what's going on? What's going on in Kenya? What's happening? How y'all doing? Everything good? And everyone knows, right? So, you know, on one hand, that's good. On the other hand, it's like, okay, give some balance to it. Don't make it seem like this is it just continues to perpetuate what we've been taught and told, when we were growing up, that Africa is unstable, underdeveloped, and so on and so on. And they continue to perpetuate that by only focusing in on when things are not going as well or not going in a particular way.
Yeah,
And the people, in the minds of the people, they're thinking it's reinforcing for some people, and for others, it's like they think it's like this is like the whole country's up in smoke. It's like listen,
but meanwhile, we're at the mall today. um, Java House, every other table, some white folks, peaceful, having, enjoying, loving Africa. And they paint a picture to us like, oh Lord, they over there, look at them, uncivilized. They over there fighting. Please, how many marches have we done? How many peaceful protests have we been involved in? And we just be fighting for our rights, regular rights. We just be fighting because someone done killed one of us, and we're tired of it because it happens every week and it's so often that we finally decide to fight for it. They over here fighting for laws, for livelihood, for for their finances, for taxation. They over here fighting for some real, some real stuff. And guess what? Their voices are heard immediately. I've seen things retracted and changed immediately because they united and came together.
It has been amazing.
It's mind blowing.
Wow, this has been something. So it's a lot of comments. I'm trying to, and then, I don't. It's so much, and it is very engaging, very very engaging. Very a lot of great points that are being presented and made on here, and I wish that we had the time to be able to. We will be here the same time tomorrow. If we were to acknowledge these comments, all of them, because most of them are very profound and very thought provoking, and very much on point. Uh, but our pretty much our purpose, in sharing, and giving light to, uh, from our vantage point, what's going on is just to let you know that we're safe. Everyone, you know, the country is safe. It's safe. I know, the media can put a spin on things and they can make it appear as though that it's just in a total uproar, but it's nothing like that. It's nothing like that at all. So Kenya's still a beautiful country, beautiful place to come to.
It's amazing. I'm
And
still in love with Kenya.
yeah,
I'm in love with the people, the energy, the food, the beauty. There's so much. We haven't even seen probably a tenth of Kenya.
oh, so much more that we
It's
have
so
not
much
seen and
we haven't
explored.
seen, we haven't done. Kenya is amazing. Don't let it fool you. And I have much respect for the youth now. I have much respect for the warriors that Gen
Z.
Z. I'm about to say Gen X. I don't listen.
So interesting though, let me get spooky a little bit. So interesting that this generation, right, is labeled Gen Z. Now you look at the alphabet, Z is the last letter of the alphabet. And we've already detected that this generation, globally, this generation is a generation that's totally unhitched to previous generations. They have a certain spirit and a certain, I believe, that is, a higher power motivating force. And as someone, I think my brother Wendell said that, they have the right energy. They just need that guidance. And this is where I believe where those of us that know come in to help give the proper guidance or give the right guidance. But it says to me though, if we if we really pay attention to the time that we are living in, you know, the armies are gathered together for the doom, which we understand to be Armageddon, and we're creeping up on that. We're in it really, but we're seeing more and more and more and more. And I think this will be the generation, since it is the letter Z is finalizing. It will bring
It's the generation of change.
that ultimate change that needs to take place. That will ultimately take place, but the vessels that will be used will be those of this particular generation. I do believe that. Um, but I'm just your brother. I'm no special person. I could be right. I could be wrong. But I just find it quite interesting. Uh, so let's just let's just be watchful as we pray. Just be watchful Let's make sure that, we on the right side of things, which is truth, and however that may land, standing on truth, standing on what is right. And some of us will advance, some of us, may become the casualties, but nonetheless, we stood on what is right and what is true. And that's all we can do.
Yes, so can I just ask, we have 156, if we can just get 156 likes? I don't even know what that does. I just know it makes me feel good. Can y'all like it? Do you like it? um, and listen, we got a lot of y'all are coming. I'm busy these days, especially in the next few weeks. We have people relocating over here. So no matter how you feel here in Kenya with the intense situation, it doesn't compare to what's going on in the States every single day that we have to deal with. This I'm pretty impressed with seeing when people come together in unity and they fighting for a particular cause. And I tell you, they have this thing laid out. It's organized. It's day to day. This is what's going on. This is what's going on Tuesday. This is what's going on Wednesday. They not playing. They not no amateurs at this. Someone has organized this thing so that you can see what you need to expect every single day.
And you know what else is interesting about this thing? It's like usually the unification aspect of these young ones is not necessarily the physical assembly of them mobilizing, right, in the direction that they're mobilizing. But I could be wrong. But what's interesting is that there is not a single quote unquote leader, if you will. There's not a single individual who's
Well, we don't know.
that we don't. That's what I'm saying. I could be wrong. But if I'm not wrong, then what it says is that, which is, I can see how it can be very frightening, because you get to a point where everyone is a leader in him or herself, and that they are in sync and in unison and unifying according to that energy and that spirit, and they're activated, right? Without having to rely on some one particular individual say, go this way, go this way, go that way. They already know. And so that unifying force right there is very, very powerful. And I just realized that I don't recall that there's any one particular, either, I don't even know if they do that here. They have like different like organizations that call for this and that. Like in America, we got all these different black organizations that's calling for this, for civil rights, this for that, this for that. I don't think that they have. So they just move out, and that's what they've been doing. So I find that very interesting, if that's the case. And what do you do with something like that? How do you handle something like that? You have no one to point to. You have no one to single out. You have to sing. You have to. Everybody is the leader, which is a very beautiful thing. So anyway, I think that's it. I think we
Okay,
checked
so
out.
Timothy said, no, my phone died, so I had to pick up the backup. But Timothy said, I can confirm to you, we Gen Z and now millennials don't have a leader. We're doing this for ourselves. That's amazing.
It is amazing.
Y'all could come together. This thing is orchestrated, y'all. We see, like,
It's on a divine level, though.
yeah, okay,
It would have to.
I agree.
It would have to be. That's a powerful statement, brother Timothy. Wow, wow.
What did Timothy say?
That's the brother who just.
Oh, yeah.
You forgot that quick.
Listen, I love Kenya. I love it here. Kenya has given me life. Kenya has restored me in so many different ways. Um, Kenya's not our end, it's our beginning of a new chapter, a new life. I see things differently now since being here. I'm understanding my place. I'm 49 now. I have the spirit to fight, but I don't have the
Well, you know,
the body to do it anymore.
the young
So you let the young fight, right? You let them
man,
go out and
old for counsel, young for war.
yeah. And y'all fighting the same beast we've been fighting in the States forever. Y'all fighting the same mind. You are, whether you see it or not. That's what you're dealing with. So to see you guys fearless, y'all out there, I heard them say, they were like, listen, we will die for this. They not playing.
Man, I saw some stuff. I was like, it shook me. He was like, listen, this tear gas is like
And
fragrance.
then he read,
I was like, yo,
he read that thing in, and I
I
was
said,
like,
whoa,
dang,
these they not fighting.
he ain't, what are y'all made of? What,
I said, okay. I said, I'm not taking my behind down there
yeah,
at all.
they listen. They got this, and it's for the better. Let them do what they gotta do. We'll be indoors. We'll be indoors on Tuesday, but they gotta make their voices heard, and the world is watching. The world is watching. The youth across the globe is watching.
Mhm.
I hope the youth in the States is watching. I hope. Because watching how you guys came together, unified, y'all had one voice, one direction, y'all created your own army and didn't even realize it. And you're fearless.
Yes, 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 yes.
We didn't want to come on and do any of the rah rah or condemn or any of that.
That's not our position.
That's not our position.
We're guests. We're guests.
This is my home.
And
This is the
I
land of my
mean,
people.
in our heart, this is home, but we're guests and we understand that. And we play our position. You understand? And so,
Tina said, when we lose the fear, they lose the power. Y'all fearless.
listen, yo, and feel this. But see here, I'm gonna tell you something. It's very interesting, my beloved sister, that you say that, right? Speaking as a Black American, as my wife was saying about, as we're looking at the differences as to how the mobilization has taken place here and how oftentimes, too often, in the States, it's more of a reactionary, you know, demonstration of protesting. And then it goes back to business as usual. Nothing really comes out of it, unfortunately. And I think that a lot of there's two factors that keep us from advancing and progressing and making that change that is necessary. That's ignorance, one, and that exists and occurs even outside of anything happening that causes us to react to it. But then the other part of it is the fear. It's our fear that keeps us from moving and advancing forward to make the necessary change that's necessary. So it makes it easy for those, who are in the struggle, in the fight, to lay down. But what we're experiencing by witnessing it is that what you pretty much just said is that we understand that the enemy in truth, when you're fighting against injustice, is the fear. When you can fight and challenge the fear and get over the fear, there's nothing else. There's what else is there? You understand? And that this is what we're to put it in a nutshell, this is what we're witnessing and what we're seeing in these strong youth that are out here. And so we hope though, we hope that at the end of it all, that there could be a peaceful a resolve. I don't know if I can say peaceful resolve right now but we hope that there is, a peaceful resolve, and that, that things can be restored in a way that the country can continue to move, in the direction that it's been moving and advancing and progressing. Uh, and no more lives lost, no more
Yeah, I wanted
none
to
of that
send
stuff there.
condolences to. There's been some
There's
lives
been some
lost.
lives lost,
There's
and
been some fallen soldiers, and I've actually we're seeing the Kenyans come together and honor their fallen soldiers. Like Kenyans, I don't know if no one told you guys this. Y'all are beautiful people. You're beautiful people, and the world is watching now. We're watching how you take care of your own, how you fighting for your rights, how you fighting for those who come against you. I mean, you guys are fighters.
yeah.
Y'all are fighters, and the world is watching. So go out with dignity and honor and continue. I mean, I wish I was Gen Z.
Well, Sister Deborah made a good point. After Gen Z comes Gen Alpha. This is the new beginning. So we
That's for
being
the old people. That's
no, it
us.
ain't.
We're gonna be fighting with the canes. Leave my
we gonna resurface as Gen Alpha.
babies alive.
All right, family. So it's so much to say, and and there's so much that we have to be
Brother
careful of,
Gerard
family.
on. He said, "Yeah, I'm here
Yeah, I meant to
in
post that.
Mombasa telling my Kenyan brothers and sisters that this was inevitable. We've been there, done this. No way around it. Unfortunately, it's the way forward. That's the way.
It's the way
Change has to come, and the change is coming through the youth, one way or another. Here and in the States and across the globe.
across the globe.
The world is watching you, Kenya. Um, we respect you. We support whatever. You know, we don't, we try not to get into the politics because that's not our place. Unfortunately, I wish it was. Um, but it's not. We are guests in this land, I'm told, until someone can see fit to make us not.
Yeah,
But we love it here. We're not afraid. We're it's peaceful, it's beautiful. We still moving forward. Obviously, there's we still have expats moving and coming. We still have our event planned for August 25th.
we do.
Um, we want to see all you, especially the Wakenians that are in our group here that's talking, that's fighting. We want to see y'all. We want to meet y'all. We want to shake your hand. We want to know more about you guys,
Sure.
especially the youth. What do y'all got going on? What's your plans? Like we want to be we want to be involved whatever way we can, and just bringing our people and uniting the people on the continent. We love it.
Beloved, beloved Sister Jane, good to see you, our beloved sister. Really, really good to see you. And it's good to know that they are taking a moment to give remembrance to those who unfortunately died in the demonstration on both sides of it, really and true. Because we don't want to lose lives, man. We really don't. We really don't. But it's good to to know. And I'm assuming, Sister Jane, when you say that they're doing that, are they doing that? Is that here or is that elsewhere?
She's in different areas.
In
I did
different
see
areas. Okay.
they do have a 7 day breakdown of what's happening for this week.
Mm.
I'm telling you, y'all are organized. Like when we march is because something happened to us and we have a lot of anger and frustration and we're hitting the streets because they done killed one of ours. So we don't really have time to plan. The marches that are planned are when we're waiting for a verdict that we know we're not going to get. And then we'll just destroy up everything and that's it. Y'all have your stuff organized. This is candlelight,
Oh man.
but
Hold on, let me post it.
this is candlelight today. Tomorrow, they're gonna be. Listen, they got the whole thing
Man,
laid out.
that made me feel good.
What it say?
This the Kara said, my Kenyan friends in America see you to us as family. They said, welcome home. Man, that we're really honored and thankful. Please, please, please express our gratitude and our thanks uh, to them and for the welcoming that we continuously receive uh, from from you all, and we're grateful and we appreciate it. We love black people, man. Whether it's America, whether it's in the Caribbean, whether it's in Africa, or whatever. We want us as Black people to to
Rise
rise, man, and
in their
not
rightful
in the
place.
right way, so we can live and exist amongst ourselves peacefully and not be controlled and manipulated, colonized, enslaved, brutalized, whatever the case may be, used, manipulated, taken, exploited, all of that stuff there, you know, and we a family, man. We all family. So much could be said. We're well over the time. And we thank you for joining in and just lending an ear and sharing your thoughts and your comments. Um, which again were, we couldn't, it's a lot of them, and we were able to see some of them, but
Yeah.
they were really great comments, and we appreciate them. And
And thank you guys that supported us during the 2 weeks that we didn't come on. We seen the prayers you guys sent, the donations you guys sent, the care, the inquiries, the text messages. We've seen all of that.
yeah,
We appreciate it. We're not afraid out here. We love it here. It's despite what they show you. You know, the Western media only going to show you the fire, and they're going to enhance it, and they're going to make it seem like the whole country is fighting, and it's not like that.
it's complete unrest.
It's it's not like that.
Close the doors, lock the
Mm-mm.
doors,
It's not like
board them
that.
up.
Don't
It's
let
not
them
like
fool
that at
you.
all.
Um, we've been driving around. We like I said, like he said, we've had family in town. We've been showing them the beauty of Kenya. And the energy is here. I mean, there's stuff going on. It's not a time to play, but they're handling business. They handling their business, and we just stay back.
I'm gonna tell you,
Mind yours.
in that in terms, and we're done with it. In terms of safety, you know what? That this might sound very strange, but that in and of itself makes me feel safe. You are guarding and you're putting yourself in a position to guard what is right and what is good for the benefit and the betterment of the people. If you're on that side of things, you ain't got nothing to worry about because you're gonna have a whole group, to say it, mildly, of persons and individuals that are going to rally to protect, to make sure that your betterment is safe and taken care of. So I feel safe. Honestly, I mean, I just feel safe. Period. I don't, you know,
And we're listening to children outside playing
they having a good old
all
time.
day long, playing ball, playing tag. We hear music playing. It's man, listen. And we're not saying that it's not a serious time,
No,
but because they are so organized, you know when to be out the way and when to sit your behind down somewhere and let them do what they gotta do.
just don't go where you don't need to go.
Mm-mm,
Just
mm-mm. Global still works, which is the Instacart. Order yourself groceries, just sit back, uh, and just let them do what they gotta do because they are fighting
to,
for their rights.
to preserve their country.
Preserve their country. We trying to reap the benefits of their fight now.
And what we can do as diasporas is we can develop and build us as a community, and we could, you know, do that, and doing that, we can be of a greater benefit to the country once we are organized as a community and we are operating effectively as a community, with businesses and investments and all of those particular things there, and just, you know, having that beautiful relationship with the Wakenya, So
Yeah.
that's our part.
And even the expats that are here, we kept wellness checks. We kept everyone informed about what's going on, what areas to stay away from, which streets that are blocked off. We and everyone was pouring in. You know, we have a group that we just pretty much keep us informed and guided. Stay out the way. Let them do what they gotta do. Let them. This is their fight right now. Now, if y'all need Mama to come afterwards, I got you. But you know, we love Kenya.
Yeah,
So whatever's going to make Kenya stronger and better and have a rightful place on this earth, we support it.
we love Africa. We love black. We can't say it enough. We love black people,
Yeah.
man. It is what it is.
Yeah.
You understand? So anyway, we're done. We can keep going on for days and days. And
I'm hungry.
she's hungry. So so thank you once again. If you had to hit the like button, please, just hit the like button. We would greatly appreciate that. If you haven't subscribed, we love to have your subscription. We want to continue to share with you our experience being here in Kenya, in Nairobi, in Mombasa, in Diani, in Malindi, in Watamu, wherever. We just want to be able to share with you our experience. We have some things that we are planning that we can share and show that will kind of just give you a well-roundedness of the beauty of Kenya. And so please subscribe if you haven't subscribed. For those who have already subscribed, thank you. Please keep hanging on in there with us. We're going to try to keep getting better and better.
Yeah, and ARS, the dealer's relocation services, is still on and popping in effect. We will see a lot more of that coming up in the next few weeks. A lot of you guys are coming. Don't let this stop you.
Don't let it stop.
You've seen worse.
Come
You've
on.
been through worse.
And
You're going through worse.
I mean, really, in truth. I mean, I'm gonna tell you this is freedom, justice, and equality here.
We're seeing stuff change overnight off of one protest or two protests. I'm like, wow.
It's more than that, but
This
it's
is
an
what happened.
ongoing protest. This is
But well, yeah, it's ongoing because it's organized. It's organized. I am amazed.
so listen, listen, black architects, black developers, black professionals. Man, look, come to Nairobi, come to Kenya, come. Man, they got these buildings being built up. I mean, it is what it is. I'm not knocking it. You know, you got Somalis, the Indians, the Chinese, they're doing their thing. You know what I'm saying? But I know we got black developers, man.
There's one.
I know we got beautiful
There's
black
one.
architects and engineers and so forth and so on, man. You can come here and you can, man. So put the word out, please. Put the word out. You know, Dave Chappelle's coming back
In November.
in November.
Yeah.
Kirk Franklin's coming in August.
Oh,
Then there's
I'm
another.
excited.
They got man. Look, they listen.
They coming.
People are coming and they loving, not just coming. They're coming and loving Kenya.
And the difference is the Kenyans, they say they love us. They want us to come. They see value in us. They say, welcome home. Karibu to Kenya. Welcome home. Come home. Listen, Kenya is a good choice.
It's a good choice.
I'll end it with that. Kenya is a good choice. I have no regrets. I love it here. I love the people. I love the energy. I love our life. I love Kenya. I love-
I'm just reading this.
So, thank you guys. All those that have been just checking.
I'm gonna let it ride.
But,
Gotta stop this divisiveness, man.
Mhm.
We just gotta stop this divisive of way of thinking. We all black people, man. We all foundational. We all foundational black people because we the original people. We the original people of the earth, whether we're in Africa, whether we're in America, whether we're in Alaska, Antarctica, it don't matter. We are the original people. And it just so happens that Kenya is considered to be the cradle of civilization based on we understand. So
But the
we
part that I'm confused with the FBAs, and I applaud you guys as well. But why fight people that want to go home and you stay where you are oppressed? where they don't want you, where they kill
It's
you
okay.
every single day,
But it's
where
okay.
they make sure you don't have no equal rights, where they laugh in your face when you're fighting for it. They don't offer you nothing, no reparations, no, that they take everything from you that they were supposedly have given you. Like, why would you want to keep telling the people to stay where you're not wanted because of how you got there? That's crazy. That's like telling a woman, so what? He's raping you and molesting you and destroying you. Stay there because the people over there gave you to them.
But you know, I get it.
I don't get it.
No, no, I'm saying we're foundational because, of course, you know, America wouldn't be America without black people, who are in fact descendants of not slaves, but descendants of Africans. Okay. And so the foundation of America is upon the backs of the sweat and the blood of black people, right? Well, that's all well and good, right? And I have a particular understanding in a certain realization in knowing that, the light that we're looking for is in the West, but that's a whole nother that's a different discussion. But when do we rise though? I think is what you're leading to. How do we rise and how do we, you know, put ourselves into the position that we are not at the tail? It's okay to understand and to realize that we are foundational. It's good because you can't build enough of a foundation, but we can't remain at the bottom. We can't remain at the bottom. We have to rise to we have to control the destiny of us as a people and build and make a reality for us as a people with that particular understanding. If in fact that's where we choose, we can choose to be everywhere we want because we're the original man, the maker, the owner, the cream of the planet Earth, God of the universe. That's us, right? And so, but we have to find the commonality. We have to find because we need Africa. We, as the black man and woman from America, need Africa more than anyone, right? And Africa needs us, where they have the right resources and where we have benefited from the skills and being in America and the level of expertise that we can now marry back to one another and we can help one another build the reality that we both are desiring. So I can't not look at my African family because we family regardless. We're tied, we're connected and tied by blood. Somewhere on this continent, we're connected
Mhm.
and tied by blood. So I get it, but let's come on, make sure that we on the same page. I probably wonder why I'm going because it just was just a comment. It's a comment on that was read. But anyway, we're gone. Thank you so much. God willing, next Sunday we'll come back to you guys and you please be safe. Enjoy the rest of your day where you may be over in other parts of the world. Those of us that are on this part of the world, the evening is upon us. I hope your day was well. Hope you enter into the night very peacefully, and tomorrow will become uh, a better, not a better, well, maybe a better day, but a day that will meet you and you would have joy in that day. So we're hungry.
And can y'all like us?
She's talking about like, if you like it,
I don't know what that means, but it just feels good to see if we can have 152 likes. That'll be good.
all right,
Please.
hit the like before we. All right, family. Thank you so much. We'll see you next time, God willing. All the best to you. Peace to you.